tried to jerk him. They got my little man, Sonny B. I feel naked out here, B. Terence Bud Crawford. He beat the brakes off Canelo. Anybody ever looked at me wrong, owes me money, they're dead. They jerked him. The boxing world, boxing judges, they try to jerk the boy, that boy Bud, Terence Crawford, in the Canelo fight. We can prove it in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, y'all got to give me some credit for that paid in full. They jerked him. They jerked him, man. Y'all got to, I'm naked out here, B. Y'all got to give him the acting chops, you know what I mean, a little bit of credit. Itty. Great movie. Classic hood movie. I heard 50 Cent Cameron about to turn into a TV show, a series. But Chael Sonnen, of all people, a UFC fighter, he breaks it down how they try to jerk Bud Crawford in the Canelo fight. So we're going to get into that. And then I'll give you guys my thoughts. Roll the clip.
Bud Crawford won closer to 10 rounds than he did to 2 rounds. They gave him the fight by 2 rounds. They were prepared to rob him. They tried to rob him. He dominated the fight so much that in spite of the judges' incompetence, they still got the outcome right. But to pretend that he won by 2 rounds and for that to not warrant a review is infuriating. There is no reasonable person that understands boxing that agrees with those judges that Crawford won by 2 rounds. Bud Crawford won closer to 10 rounds, prepared to rob him. They tried to fight by 2 rounds.
You hear right there, he said they were prepared to rob him.
They were prepared to rob him.
They prepared to rob him. Man, stop playing with it. They tried to jerk him.
Tried to rob him. He dominated the fight so much that in spite of the
So in spite of the judge's horrible scorecard,
judges' incompetence, they still got the outcome right. But to pretend that he won by 2 rounds and for that to not warrant a review is infuriating.
Definitely infuriating. Now, shout out to Chael Sonnen. Job well done. Everything he said was true. They tried to jerk him. Now, I've only watched the fight once live, and Bud won. You know, I said that from the beginning. I was actually very impressed with Terence Crawford. Very impressed. Got off, didn't look to be the smaller man. He just had a good strategy, looked good at the weight, answered all questions. You know, I give credit where credit's due. Now, boxing is looking very bad, and I feel like it's going to get to a point where boxing fans may need to do some type of protest or boycott or strike, because the powers that be, they don't learn until their bottom line is affected. And for fighters like Crawford, who have remained disciplined their whole career, it is wrong for you to jeopardize all of that hard work because you want a person to win. You favor a person. And for the common boxing fan, it also leaves a nasty taste because it makes you feel, if the fight was a little bit closer, like if Bud didn't pull away so crazy on Canelo, they probably would have gave the fight to Canelo, even if Bud still should have won. But Bud knew the assignment. He studied his foe well, and he had it all figured out. But I don't like those odds because not everyone, let's be real, not everyone's good as Mayweather. Not everyone's as good as a Bud Crawford because they tried to jerk Mayweather. Remember, Judge C.J. Ross scored the fight a draw when Floyd literally won like every round versus Canelo. Right here, you see the scorecards. You have Tim Cheatham gave the fight 115-113 in favor of Crawford. Max DeLuca, 115-113. And then one judge, Steve Weisfeld, had it the widest, but still not that wide, right? 116-112. So Crawford wins. The right person won. And immediately I didn't put a bunch of content out like I did on social media, but I didn't make a bunch of videos because I'm happy the right person won. I would have kicked up even more dust immediately if the wrong person won, because that's inexcusable. Crawford got the belts. The belts he gonna get the personalized belts. He good. But it's still worth talking about that they really tried to get him and really tried to make it seem like a close fight where Crawford basically needed rounds 11, round 12 in order to secure the victory, or it could have very well been a split draw. That is insane. And shout out to Bud for having the wherewithal and his team, because they were very well going to rob you, like Chael Sonnen said, and these scorecards are very apparent of that. Because if Canelo, even if he won one of the rounds, 11 or 12, which he didn't on my scorecard, right, then it would have been, who knows what their scorecard would have been. You know what I mean? I feel like they really would have pushed it towards a draw. Now, keep in mind, we had on this same card, Christian and Billy had a belt, and he fought Lester Martinez. Very good fight, good clash of styles. And in that particular fight, in Billy, given the fact that the fight ended in a draw, he was able to retain his titles. You see how that works? So Canelo entered this fight as a champion. So Bud would have did all of that work, training camp, bulking up, shredding down, cutting weight, fighting hard. And if it ended in the split draw, Canelo retains his titles. So I don't know. That looks shifty. They were trying to make Canelo Hamza Shiraz maybe, and they were hoping Canelo won. I've heard, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I heard Dana White and Max Kellerman put money on Canelo. Millions of dollars they lost on Canelo. But we got to get this right, bro. How do these judges keep getting paid to do a bad job that nobody else can feel? And for me, the type of person I am, I don't want nothing that is not mine. Like, I don't want your money or I want every single red cent and penny that is owed to me. I don't accept anything less. If it's mine, you got to give it up. That's how I operate. I don't need more. I don't need anything extra, but I want everything that's mine. So many of these fighters are probably the same way. Like, they don't want to win in a cheat fashion, where they know they didn't win, but the judges gave it to them. They want to win. And it's just wrong to have a fight like this and then potentially we're talking about it ended on a sour note. I mean, you had all these eyeballs, 40 million or whatever they said, all the people in attendance, and it's under the jurisdiction of 3 people, really 4 if you include the referee. But I think the referee did a great job. I actually forgot about Taylor in the fight. You dig? When he was in the ring, it was really Crawford and Canelo. You know what I mean? So the ref did an excellent job. See, I talk about the good and the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So the referee did a bang-up job. The judges, not so much. And it's really just pitiful, man. They really were trying to jerk Crawford where if he didn't win the last 2 rounds, it would probably be a draw. Some judge might have even gave it to Canelo, and then Canelo would retain his titles. And Canelo has went his whole career with this being the case. Canelo has 3 losses, Mayweather, Bivol, and now Crawford. But if you know, you know. Canelo really should have more losses than what his record shows. Edis Landi-Lada in at least 1, if not 2, of the Gennady Golovkin fights. So I don't know. To me, the way Crawford handled it, it might be the end of an era, and that stuff might not, because it looks dumb now if you're favoring Canelo. Well, he don't have the star build right now. So I wanted to make this video just to bring awareness. And I told you before the fight who the officials were, the judges, and I warned you guys of this, that there could be, if the fight's close, there could be some controversy. There's another reason why I didn't want to see the fight, because in big fights like this, especially with the media darling, Canelo's going to get every single benefit of the doubt. For real, I gave Canelo 3 rounds, I think it was, and then Crawford showed out, and that was it. And because some people are like, no, Crawford won every round. You can have whatever scorecard you want. I've only watched it once, but in real time, I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. Here's the difference. Crawford's best rounds, he won them big. Like, he was bop, bop. Like, he hit Canelo with a shot upstairs and then a body shot. And I know that body shot hurt, and it was nasty. It was sneaky and nasty. So he was like treating him like a piñata, just bop, bop. You know what I mean? So Crawford, his 9, 11, 12, he's winning his rounds big. Whereas Canelo, the rounds that I gave Canelo, he did some good work, but they were all highly contested rounds from Crawford. So Crawford didn't get punked in none of the rounds or anything like that. They were all like rounds, like life or death rounds for Canelo, but you still got to score it. Who threw the better shots, the better selection, blah, blah, blah. Let me know what you guys think of the boxing world trying to rob a black American fighter, Terence Crawford, and it came dangerously close to that happening. Subscribe for more boxing news. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.